Bill Gates? Mark Zuckerberg? Really strange. This 19-year-old guy drops out from Harvard and founds Facebook, okay? And now he's a billionaire. How does that happen, guys? Well, it must be the American dream. Oh, ChatGPT, guys. Really strange. If you have a dream and you just follow it, you can become a billionaire in America. Yeah. It's all just a scam, right? Google, it's all just a scam, okay? What you need to understand about these companies is they were all founded with US military technology that is public, okay? The internet, it's a US military technology. Google, these search engines, it's all US military technology. And they were given to these guys for free. Why would they do that? Okay? Again, if you think that we're ruled by secret societies, and it's really secret societies that control the world, and they want this technology out there to better surveil people, it makes a lot more sense, right? Because if the Pentagon said, hey, with this free computer that you can use, you'd be like, I'm not gonna use this computer because you'll spy on me, right? But if Mark Zuckerberg says, hey, free Facebook, guys, wanna use it? You're like, yeah, sure, Facebook, yeah. He's a dork from Harvard, of course he can be trusted, right? Same strategy, okay, guys? So the British Empire may be gone, but the British system of money laundering, stealing a nation's resources by corrupting their elite, it still exists today, okay? So these are all places where England has these offshore private banks so that the elite of Africa, of Asia, can steal from the nation and store it in these banks. All right. So what did England do with this money? Well, what England did was invest it in America. At this time, America is industrializing. And what's interesting about America is only a few individuals were able to monopolize entire industries. This is Cornelius Vanderbilt, and he monopolized the railway industry. This is Andrew Carnegie, who was born poor, but then he monopolized America's steel industry. How did one person do that? That's really strange, guys. Oh, Rockefeller, he monopolized America's oil industry. In fact, over 6 weeks, he was able to buy out all his competitors. Where did he get all this money to buy out his competitors? How did he become a monopolist? How is this happening, guys? JP Morgan, he monopolizes America's financial industry, and he creates something called the Federal Reserve, which is a system they still have today, where America is ruled by private banks. Okay, how is this happening? All right, so these questions. How is it possible for these individuals to monopolize industries? Why are these monopolies national rather than regional? And why didn't government make public these critical infrastructure and resources like we do in China, right? Oil should belong to people. Why does it belong to one person? The reason why is it is England that is using its wealth from India and China to finance these individuals, allow these individuals to develop entire industries. Why is it doing that? Because the Americans at this time in their history, they hate the British, right? The Americans like, in 1776, we fought a revolution with the British. Why would we allow the British to come back and buy our land and our oil and our steel and our railways, right? Therefore, they needed people like John Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie to act as their agents. Okay? Does that make sense, right? So in America, you're taught that these people, Andrew Carnegie, John Rockefeller, they were just rags to riches. It's because of the American dream. It's a land of opportunity. If you work hard, you can become a billionaire. No, guys, that's not true, okay? If you belong to a secret society, if you are financed by the British Empire, you can become a billionaire. All right, so 1913, these bankers met together to set up the Federal Reserve System, and this led to something called the Bretton Woods System in 1945. America won the war, and America promised the world that the US currency, backed by gold, will become the reserve currency of the world. But the US currency will always be backed by gold, therefore you have nothing to worry about, right? In 1971, Richard Nixon says, screw that, okay? We're not backed by gold anymore. We're not backed by gold anymore. You can use it. You don't have to use it though, okay? But guess what? Oil will now be sold in US dollars. Okay, this is called the petrodollar. So if you want to buy oil, you have to use US dollars, okay? And then he did something else that was very important, and actually more important than linking the US dollar to oil. Can you guys guess what? Oh, this. Guess what? Millions of Chinese working really hard. It's all for useless US dollars, guys. So, America was founded by Ben Franklin and George Washington, among others. They were both members of the Freemasons. They were both members of secret societies, okay? So America is really a Freemason country. And how do we know? Look at Washington, D.C., okay? Guess what, guys? The architecture, the city design, it's all secret society stuff, okay? This is a pentagram, and this is the White House, right? and you can see how it's designed. This is occult symbolism. This is another picture showing you that this is a Freemason symbol backed by the Pentagon. The pentagram, okay? If you want to see more of the secret society's occult symbolism, just look at the US money. Right? This is the all-seeing eye, the pyramid. All the symbolism comes from Egypt, Greece, Babylon, okay? It's all part of the Freemason system.